One of the first things I wanted to play when I got this. Babe, I'm leaving. Fast morning roundup. D20. David. Naughty shark. Shark. D12. Holdable coffee. Chihuahua trash can. Very excitingly, the VHS zombie. Rah. T-Rex skull. Somebody, of course, ordered the drink in blue. You know what we're doing. Pictures, baby! Let's package little Chihuahua boy. Big Sharky. And we got the wall coffee. And an egg. They're going to the same person. It does the body good to see so many large boxes. Oh man, why are you like this? This song again. It's funny how our lives are festooned with these little memories. One of my earliest memories of In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, my uncle and some of my other relatives, I guess, they were having a discussion about what that song meant. And he said that, for some reason I'm smelling cologne. Why? Man, it really smells like just cheap dollar store cologne. Anyway, they were having a discussion about what that song meant. And my uncle said it's about the JFK assassination. And like, that seemed weird to me at the time. But years later, when I started listening to Peter Gabriel's solo stuff, on his third album, he has a song called Family Snapshot, which is about the JFK assassination. So years and years and years later, I realized the mistake that he was making. It's just funny because that realization had no real application to my life. Like, realizing that mistake, it's not really relevant to anything. But it's stuck in my mind all these years. Alright, I've really wrestled with this and gone back and forth a little bit. One of the things that's really made our community work is being really, really strict about not talking politics. You know, it's a rule that I am not going to change my mind about. I've seen enough online communities get really torn apart. And what this obviously has had the effect of is almost everything is like right coded or left coded. Like, there are places on the internet that aren't exactly like that, but it's getting to be, you know, all kinds of places. So, you know, that's a rule perhaps that I've had to be overly strict with, or be strict with. I don't know what overly would mean. And that's not going to change. It's especially clear to me still that that is the right move, because we're about something that is less transient than the politics of the day or celebrity or whatever. I don't know. If there's a theme outside of just 3D printing, obviously, for this channel, it would be pursuing virtue. Obviously, gratitude, I think, as I said early on in the series, I think it's a really underrated virtue. It's part of the reason why I decided it was going to be a thing that we do, and we are doing it, of course, and I'm very grateful for it. So yeah, I'm not changing that rule, and I don't want any kind of real political discussion to come from this. We're not going to talk about policies or whatever, nothing like that. But I do feel like I kind of just need to say something about this Charlie Kirk assassination. You know, one of the reasons, I'll put it this way. In politics, you know, in democracy or whatever you want to say, it is considered acceptable to screw over or piss off 49% of the population. Like, if basically anything can be decided, or anybody can be elected with only 51% of the vote, you know, imagine, here's the way to think about this. Imagine a business where you only pleased 51% of your customers. Like, on Etsy, if you're not pleasing, I would say, at least 95% of your customers, there's some decent chance that you're gonna maybe get your shop shut down or something. So, like, I am the person that wants a modality for our channel where we're always erring on the side of the 95% approval rating, let's say. And I don't want to, not that it's all about just like making everybody happy. Like, I'm obviously, if you tell the truth and you piss somebody off, that's acceptable. But it has to be the truth. Politics is a modality where a lot of people can be screwed over, and that's considered okay for some reason. And I don't want to do that. But politics is fundamentally a zero-sum game. You know, creativity, building a business, introducing products to the market, finding better ways to do things, that is a win-win. Like, when I make an interesting product that people really respond to, I win because I obviously make money. They win because they get a headphone stand or whatever it is. Whereas the way I think of politics is politics is like the spirit of war. Like, people say that the first casualty of war is truth, and really it's the first casualty of politics. The underlying logic of politics fundamentally is war. So I would say, from what I kind of understand about everything political, when people start getting assassinated, especially when they're not even politicians, that isn't so much a surprise. It's more just, this is what happens. It's the manifestation of the underlying logic of the thing. I mean, here's the way to think of it, and this is not side specific. Just from a getting your way perspective, if you are, we'll use letters. If you're in political party A, and there's only one really other political party, it's political party B. Why would A want B to exist, right? Like, I think there's a reason things devolve into something like monarchy or dictatorship. It's because there's actually, if one side becomes more powerful, there's actually no functional reason from their perspective why the other side should even exist. You know, there are all these ideals about, like, well, yeah, but we need people to be represented, but that is just an impediment to power, fundamentally. Like, I'm just saying from a power perspective, and fundamentally what government is just power and force being used against people. I'm not trying to get into a big discussion about it, but obviously, when you think about it from that perspective, why should the other side even exist? And this is why I don't want things to become politicized, and why I'm going to be pretty strict about it. It's because we've got something actually valuable, and politics is like this virus that wants to just infect everything, because it's always looking for more avenues for power to be expressed. So I'm definitely feeling some grief. It's not just because of, like, it doesn't really have that much to do with its stances and stuff. It's more that I'm just seeing a country that I love really inching in a bad direction. Yeah, I guess that's why I needed to say something about this. Obviously, if you're wanting to hear a bunch of political takes on this subject, you're going to be able to see it in 1,000 other places on the internet. And I'm not even saying you shouldn't, you know, necessarily. That's your business. I'm just saying, like, there are reasons, you know, it isn't just some facile thing that I decided this early on when we got our little community going. At least in the Gratitude Gang, I just refuse to allow us to see each other as opponents, because we're not. There's no reason why it has to be that way. Yeah. I'm not saying those political fights don't need to be had elsewhere. Who knows? If we're just thinking about it from a consequentialist framework, it's pretty debatable. There's so much I could say about that I'm not saying at all. Yeah, I'm holding my tongue on this in a big way. Just understand that. So yeah, there's no shortage of places for people to fight about things on the internet. And we need at least one place where that's not going to happen. I'm not saying we can't have discussions about plenty of other things. I'm not saying to really edit yourself in most ways. I'm just saying you can hold your tongue about political things in the Gratitude Gang. Because they're like, why wouldn't we have at least one spot on the internet where we just don't do that? But yeah, I mean, you know, Charlie Kirk had, I think, 2 kids and a wife. I would probably be just about as aggrieved if it was somebody of some other political orientation. Honestly, that is the healthy thing. It's pretty heavy. And not to just get really over dramatic, but like I said, that's why we don't talk about politics on this channel. We just have to have some kind of space away from the madness, let's just say it that way. So yeah, I just wanted to express that. Sometimes something just feels heavy enough that I have to say something. I don't know. I just wanted to communicate that to you guys. I don't know why this came to mind, but I was just thinking about, like, my dad, you know, worked in a factory, and during a lot of that time at least, he would come home like covered in oil, you know, wearing those coveralls. At least what he was doing for a lot of that time was pretty grueling work. And, you know, he taught music on the side and things like that. And he had lots of friends, or at least he had some friends at work. And sometimes they'd come over for dinner, or sometimes he'd go be hanging out with them or whatever. And I guarantee you, I don't remember a single time when he ever talked about what the political leanings of any of those guys he worked with were. I mean, maybe they talked about it. I have no idea. It was Indiana, so they're probably Republicans, honestly. But, like, you know, it's hard to remember there was a time when you probably didn't even know what the politics of your neighbors were, but you did know your neighbors. I'm not saying there aren't substantial reasons why that has changed, but, like, we're neighbors here. In a sense, we're co-workers, and I want to remember a time in America where you didn't sort everybody you knew by friend or foe. I don't know if I ever articulated it this way, but that's kind of like what I'm fighting for on this channel in a significant way. And today is a day, I guess yesterday for you guys, that reminds us of why that is. Things are very difficult to create, and it's very easy to destroy. We've all kind of worked together a lot and contributed a lot to this community, and that took a long time, and it would not take very long to destroy it. So that's a pretty good way of saying what we're doing here. I think I'm actually going to end it here. We'll catch up on comments and everything next episode. I'm just a little distracted because it's concerning, the whole situation. Yeah, we'll get back to normal tomorrow. But yeah, I'll see you on the next episode.
Stay around you. I can't say what I need. This blinding adolescence I'm seeing to standing in a moment. What has been is cast aside, frozen there as time rode. I know that you must have died. Light waves surround you. living free. Empty my possessions, everything that we through emotions, and we're all going to die. So leave me something precious, another glimpse of light. Lion will surround you. Open up your light, time to say a Wiedersehen.